The US men's national team will have to give half of the money they generated to the women's national team, and all in the name of equality. Look, this is progressive nonsense. The US national team raised $12 million for reaching the round of 16 in the World Cup. But they will have to share half of the prize with the women's team due to an equality policy implemented during Joe Biden's administration. It's crazy. I mean, it's nonsense. Imagine that you worked your tail off for hours and hours, and then they take away half your salary and give it to a lady or some ladies who did absolutely nothing. Ha ha, unbelievable. That happened in the United States. Pay attention.
The total in the United States. Progressivism steals the prize that the United States men's team received. This is incredible. Look, you can't believe it.
Look, I have to be honest with you. At this point, I'm not surprised anymore. It's crazy. Now here they tell us that the women's soccer players didn't play a single minute of those matches, didn't attract the crowds, didn't sell the tickets, and didn't generate the revenue. However, they still receive a portion of the men's prize money, while the reverse transfer is just a fraction. Yes, the women are more successful, having won the Women's World Cup several times. The Women's World Cup doesn't matter. In terms of revenue, it's completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but that's the harsh reality. It's still not a major tournament, it's still not a high-profile tournament, and it's gotten to the point where not even feminists care to support women's soccer. Nobody watches it. It's that simple. Nobody watches it. Period. Now, here they tell us that they've been more successful. Well, but the prize is much smaller. Why? It reflects differences in interest. Global interest, sponsorship, audience, and actual performance. Look, you earn according to what you're able to produce to generate. And women's soccer produces very little. In fact, several women's leagues around the world don't even generate income. Quite the opposite. They lose millions every year and are subsidized with the money and profits from men's soccer. Incredible, but true. Now let's please take a look at the following.
Would you work hard for your salary only to have half taken by someone who didn't contribute? Welcome to First World Progressive Madness at this World Cup. Total controversy with the United States men's national team because, as you know, this country was eliminated in the round of 16 of the World Cup. For reaching that stage, the Soccer Federation is supposed to receive $12 million as a prize.
That's normal. I mean, all the teams, depending on the stage they reached in the World Cup, receive different amounts. The further you go, the higher the percentage of earnings you'll receive. So, if you reach the round of 16 well, you get $12.8 million. Paraguay received exactly the same, for example. Mexico received the same. And the same goes for the rest of the teams that were eliminated in the same round. If you reach the quarterfinals, like Morocco did, you'll receive more. If you reach the semifinals, you'll receive even more. If you reach the final, you'll get even more. And if you're the champion, you'll get the biggest prize. That's how it works.
Up to this point, everything is normal. But what if I told you that out of those $12 million that the US men's soccer team won, they have to give $6 million to the women's soccer team just because?
It's just crazy. It's unbelievable.
What would you guys think?
That it's ridiculous, that it doesn't make any sense. But in this world of equality, inclusion, and diversity, of course it makes sense. Complete madness.
Let's look at the facts, because there's no social justice here. Of course not. It's outright theft of individual merit.
Very true. There's no other way to describe it. And I don't care that the US women's national team was world champion. Nobody cares. Nobody is interested. Guys, in women's soccer, North Korea, yes, North Korea with Kim Jong-un is a powerhouse. I mean, I think that says it all. The level of women's soccer is extremely low. Guys, not long ago, last year, the Swiss women's national team played against a team of 15-year-old boys. It was a preparation match for the Euros. Well, it turns out the 15-year-old boys won 7-1. Against the Swiss women's national team, who later ended up losing in the quarterfinals of the Euros. I mean, they got pretty far and lost to Spain, who then made it to the final and then lost in the final. But, I mean, the Swiss women's national team made it really far in the Euro. Incredible, but true. And they lost 7-1 against 15-year-old boys. I think that says it all.
Soccer doesn't pay you for what's between your legs, but for what you generate in the market.
Very true. If you don't bring in money, that's just how it is. You can be the best soccer player in the world, but if nobody is interested in you, if nobody knows you, if nobody cares about you, that's just how it is. This is a matter of marketing, guys. It's that simple and straightforward.
Men's soccer brings in millions and millions of dollars in advertising, tickets, and television rights all over the world. The $12 million that the United States Federation earned didn't fall from the sky. Part of it was generated by the audience who paid to watch them.
Very true.
Splitting 50% of that money with the women's soccer team just because isn't equality.
It's theft. It's an injustice. But you've already seen the world we live in.
It's taking from those who produce to finance a narrative that can't stand on its own.
And let me remind you, women's soccer would be hugely successful if feminists cared about it. But it turns out that not even they are interested. That's the problem.
Second fact, hold on a second here. Because here's the trick that collectivism won't tell you. If the state destroys economic incentives, it destroys sports. Why would you give your all on the field even if you're representing your country if the prize is just going to be paid out in pesos from someone else's wallet? We all know that equality before the law is a right, but equality of outcomes by decree is plain and simple communism.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't lead to anything good.
The only thing these kinds of policies achieve is destroying effort and erasing merit. Woke populism works exactly the same way, both in Washington and in Buenos Aires. They promise endless rights using other people's money. The day they understand that wealth is created by competing and not by begging the government, the world will regain common sense. At the end of the day, goals are scored on the field, but populism wants to score them from behind a desk. Do you like my content?
It's just crazy, guys. It's totally insane what we've seen with the United States. I mean, how do you explain it? It's just unbelievable. Here they tell us all this is done under the appearance of parity between equivalent work, but in reality, it's more like subsidizing one program with the production of the other. Just like the ex-wife who cashes in on earnings she didn't generate. That's so true. It's just ridiculous. I mean, just imagine. It's just unbelievable. You come in, you generate, you reach the round of 16, which is good. I mean, for the United States, that's not bad. They lost in the round of 16 against Belgium, but well, it's not bad. They made it to the round of 16, generated $12.8 million, and the money is given to the feminists on the women's national team. Why? They didn't make it that far. I mean, they didn't earn it. The United States earned it on the field, on the pitch, not them. What are they doing there? Nobody called them. Nobody. But anyway, guys, I'm telling you, we live in a crazy world. I'd like to know what you think and what your opinions are about all this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much and see you next time. Bye.